Well, good afternoon. It's evening, actually. It's late today. Um, but welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Tuesday, March 15th, the second Tuesday of Lent, and it is the feast day of Saint Clement Mary Hofbauer. Um, he was a Moravian hermit at first, and then he later became a priest of the Redemptorist congregation. He was around in the 1700s, early 1800s. And he is the patron saint of Vienna, Austria. Today's gospel is from Matthew chapter 23, verses 1 through 12. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen. Then Jesus spoke to the crowds and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees have taken their seat on the chair of Moses. Therefore, do and observe all things whatsoever they tell you, but do not follow their example. For they preach, but they do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to carry, and lay them on people's shoulders, but they will not lift a finger to move them. All their works are performed to be seen. They widen their phylacteries and lengthen their tassels. They love places of honor at banquets, seats of honor in synagogues, greetings in marketplaces, and the salutation, Rabbi. As for you, do not be called Rabbi. You have but one teacher, and you are all brothers. Call no one on earth your father. You have but one Father in heaven. Do not be called Master. You have but one Master, the Messiah. The greatest among you must be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted. So we got Jesus denouncing the scribes and the Pharisees, and I imagine that'll be taking place here over the next few days of the Gospels. But he's just telling him to make sure your heart's where it needs to be, and for the right reasons. Um, and yeah, I mean, because it's so easy to let pride slip in. If you have a boss or a coach or somebody that just likes to, you know, talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, right? I'm sure we all know those people, you know. And that was always one of my biggest challenges personally that I would give to myself is whenever I was a teacher, that all the advice that I would give to my students, that I lived by that advice, or at least strived to do so. Because no one wants a hypocrite, and everybody notices a hypocrite and calls it out, and that's not something that is virtuous. And that's what Jesus is trying to tell us here. And that's something that is something that I take to prayer as well, being a seminarian studying for the Catholic priesthood, because it's so easy. It could be so easy to, if you actually are, if one is indeed ordained a priest, to fall into pride, because which because people like to honor you. They like to give you a whole bunch of props and kudos for doing what you're doing. Giving up a life for the Lord, and no family, no wife or kids or anything like that. So I mean, it's a righteous honor, but it takes a lot of discipline to be able to receive that, but then not let it get to your head, and still strive for virtue and humility. Um, and that's why I know oftentimes you'll find, bishops and priests sometimes kind of leave the scene after what is done, because they don't want to be, get a big head, because it's truly for the Lord of everything that we are doing. We don't want to. That should be our only motivation in all that we do. That's what true humility is all about. And so, as we kind of go here, is pray for more humility in your life, in my life, in everybody's life, because pride is what is one of the greatest sins that causes Satan that is the sin that causes Satan to fall, because it takes our eyes away from the goodness of God and puts it into ourselves, of thinking that we are the ones who are able to do all of this. Whenever we really can't, because God could, in a snap of his fingers, could take away our life at this very second. So, or a loved one as well, anybody. So we got to be more grateful and still and make sure our heart is always fixed on him, especially during the season of Lent. So maybe the challenge could be is to maybe do a Google search on the litany of humility and pray the litany of humility every time you feel like you need to, which is probably every day. It's something that I pray every morning, first thing once I get into chapel before Mass. So all that being said, have a great day. Keep doing a good job with your Lenten observance. And if you're not, just jump on that train right now. Have a good day. God bless. Keep it real. In the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.